welcome to another episode of the Digital Prosperity Podcast with me, Andy Gibbins. Today, we're diving into the world of marketing automation, how it can transform your business, drive growth, and so much more. Joining me is the brilliant John Skidmore.
Hello.
An expert in automation strategies.
Well, pushing that far, but yes, I've used it quite a lot over the years.
Brilliant. Okay. We're going to explore everything about marketing automation, what it is, what it means to you as a business owner, and how you can get the most out of it. So I'm going to go straight into it, as always. Before I do that, though, just want for you to tell me a little bit about yourself, really. Who is John Skidmore? I've built you up here as a brilliant, an expert. Tell everybody all about yourself.
So my name's John Skidmore. I've worked in marketing for about 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah.
Originally was at university, got a master's in international marketing, going through there. Worked internally in marketing, and I've been agency side for about 5 years now. Brilliant at that time at JDR. All of that time though, working in marketing, sales, smaller businesses, so not big corporates, but really on the ground of it. So, yeah, that's who I am.
That's who you are. So marketing automation, then, what is it? To the normal business owner today, they might hear it a lot. They might have come across it, or they've seen it in text or books or podcasts, webinar, whatever it might be. But not many people know what it is. So the floor is yours. Tell me what marketing automation is.
Well, at its core, marketing automation is using software or leveraging software to automate repetitive tasks in marketing.
Okay.
Also, to be able to stop you dropping the ball along a lot of things in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think maybe 20 years ago, there wouldn't be the software, the computers, and the systems to be able to automate. Whereas now we've got a lot of software that's out there that can allow that. So think automated emails, automated processes, getting back to customers, all those type of things. All of that now can be automated off the back of forms, or, what your sales team are doing, so that everything flows completely.
Then why is it important then to a business owner?
Well, efficiency, I would say, is the biggest one. Is, as every year goes on, there's always trying to do more with less. And customers now expect at least some sort of follow-up.
Yeah.
So if you buy product on Amazon, you expect 2 minutes later, you'll get an email through that will say, here's what you bought, here's when it's going to be delivered, here's how much you paid, etc. If instead, and we've probably all been there, where you submit a form on a website, and you don't know if you're going to get a reply.
Yeah.
You've had no confirmation. You don't know how long you're expected to wait.
Yeah.
You don't know who's going to come back to you.
Yeah.
That is where automation can come in on its own and ensure that people are always kept up to date and kept informed.
Is it new technology, would you say? Has it been around for a while?
It's grown. It's grown a lot. This obviously isn't around AI, but it's grown a lot around the AI sphere.
Yeah.
But it has been around for, I would say, probably the best part of 15 years or more. HubSpot's been around for a long time. They've had a lot of automation. And there are a lot of other products that have had similar things, but it's just grown in its simplicity, I suppose, or its access.
Yeah.
You used to have to be a huge company with lots of resources to be able to do this, or big pockets. Nowadays, you can get automation for 10, 20, 30 pounds a month. It's really not expensive.
No, not at all. And I think that historically, automation was always the kind of the bigger players that would be utilizing it because it wasn't necessarily available to small businesses. I always think I've had younger guests on this show before, and I always talk to them about Love Film.
Yes.
Do you remember Love Film?
I do. DVDs through the post.
DVDs through the post. They would send you reminders of how long you've had it for and things like that. And they were all automated. That wasn't, Julie from accounts emailing you manually saying that you've had your DVD for 4 weeks now. That's all changed. And that was, today it's all streaming, it's all online and Netflix and things like that. But automation's been around for a little while now. It's only now that small business owners can start to get the most out of it as well.
Definitely.
So there's quite a few ways in which you can do it. There's a few different platforms, etc. Because it can be quite confusing, I would say, to a business owner on what to look at, what to use. What platforms allow you to do this, would you say?
Oh, well, there's a lot of them out there now. There are, well, HubSpot is the one that we're going to be biased on because we use it every day. But there's a reason for that. It's probably one of the most complete when it comes to automation. There's Apollo, there's Lemlist, there's MailChimp, there's even Salesforce if you are a big enterprise customer. And a lot of other tools out there that can do it. Really, the thing that differentiates them from one another is, one, how big of a company are you and how in-depth do you need your automation to go? And equally, what resources you have internally to dedicate to it. There's a famous quote I've got here from Bill Gates, and he says, automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency.
Okay.
So just to repeat that again, automation applied to inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency. And that's what we see quite a lot with clients, is they think automation's a save all. We'll just automate it. But if you've got a strategy behind that, that's where it can go wrong.
In what way specifically, would you say, can it go wrong? What other examples?
Well, we probably, they'll be in the news and what have you, where, lots of emails have been sent out by accident, or where you've bought something and then you got an email for the wrong product. That kind of thing is where you've automated it. Or equally, I saw one recently actually, where an email went out with all personalization tokens on, which we'll get to in a minute, but no actual names.
Okay.
So that's where it's been automated, but it's not actually filled in the properties. So that kind of thing can.
And what's the impacts of that then to a business owner?
Well, it doesn't look the best, does it?
Really? No.
If you're getting emails that are being sent out, we're just talking about emails here, but if you've got internal processes, example, salespeople giving the wrong leads, the wrong information, customers, the same thing. If the wrong products are being sent out, all of this can happen if automation isn't right and hasn't got a good strategy.
Isn't active, of course, because that's the other thing as well, is that on the other side is there'll be downsides to this, because some will say, and I've met many business owners who are big advocates of the fact that they feel it reduces personalization in the sense that it appears disingenuous.
Is it?
What would you say to that?
It definitely can do. If it's not done correctly, as I said there, if things aren't done right, it can definitely look that way. But things have evolved quite a lot over the years. So I would say 10 years ago, yes. Whereas now it's to the point where with personalization tokens, so just for what that is where you can have their first name, their email address, the company they work at, and they're just high level ones, but even what product they bought, what they might be interested in, etc., included in that email automatically, where on the surface it doesn't look like it's come automatically. It looks like it's come from yourself or, a customer or what have you. So I don't think nowadays it's as easy to tell.
Right.
But it can still come across that way if it's not done correctly.
And what's the long-term ramifications then for a business who is doing it poorly?
Well, I think it'll really erode your trust. If, people buy from people at the end of the day, even in the world of AI and automation and software, people still like to speak to people and know that they're being heard by people. So if you are sending things out that are poor quality, that could look like they've come from a robot or not a person, yes, I definitely think it'll erode trust. I also think it just doesn't make you want to buy from that company again, or it doesn't make you want to, interact with that company again, because we've all dealt with faceless organizations. You submit a form or you go on their help chat, and then you just get into a bit of a loop. So, if it's done poorly, I think that can happen, and you probably don't want to buy from.
No, absolutely. So the benefit, obviously the tool that we talk about quite a lot is HubSpot and HubSpot's marketing automation.
Is it?
I've done lots of webinars on what things you can automate with HubSpot. Okay. In your view, why is HubSpot the best? Have all the tools are out there? Because there's lots.
There is. I think what makes HubSpot the best out of the lot of them is the fact that it's all in one place.
Okay.
So, MailChimp started out as an email platform, so that's what it's good at, and the rest of things are built on top of it.
Yeah.
Whereas HubSpot has started out as a CRM, which is all of your data, and now you can automate everything within it. So, data's in there, sales are in there, your marketing's in there, all of it is in one place. So it's much easier to be able to automate different things and see what's happening. If you automate from one program to another, you might see that actually, is that working correctly? Have you got limitations? I think also is ease of use. A lot of clients say that, it can be overwhelming coming to a new software package or a new program. But once we train them on it, or once they've started to use it over time, actually replicating that out is a lot easier for them to do. And I think actually in the market, it's not overly expensive compared to competitors. There are much more expensive ones out there. There are cheaper, but you get what you pay for at the end of the day.
Yeah. The one thing that I always, I talk to lots of business owners about automation, is that you've got to, it comes in different areas. So you have sales automation. Okay. We have service automation, customer service automation, like post-sale automation.
Yeah.
Obviously our focus is marketing automation today. So what can you automate in HubSpot from a marketing perspective?
Good question. I've got a few of the main ones that we focus on here. So I'd say the biggest one across the board is going to be email.
Yeah.
Email, people say email's dead. People say it's not working. Far from it. Email is still probably the number one tool where you can get interaction with customers, get leads, that kind of thing. So email marketing campaigns is first. Social media posting is the other one, where you could use it to automate some of your social media. Nurturing leads is another one. So if you've got leads coming through from forums, from social, or any other way, is just nurturing them with nurture campaigns. Keeping them alive, sending them case studies, sending them projects that you've done, all that kind of thing.
To the non-marketeer, explain nurturing to me.
Okay, so nurturing is keeping that lead interested, alive, and united. I suppose are the three words.
And how would you do that?
So first of all is you want to build trust with them. So having email campaigns that show your company in the best light, show what you can do, how you do it. It's, the 5 whys really. Why do you do it? How do you do it? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I would say that you want to go through all of those bits, also showing what you can do on your case studies, showing what you can do on your projects. Really just trying to nurture them to the point where they feel like they trust you as a business.
Yes. It's more like you're kind of putting your arm around them, so to speak, and just help it. And it's making them feel that you're trying to help them, not sell to them. That's always the biggest message that I would say to businesses. Any more examples of things you can automate then? HubSpot?
How long have we got, Andy? The goals to I think the other bit really that I would like to focus on is website visitors.
Okay.
So it's easy when you've got people that have submitted a form or if you've inputted them on HubSpot. But people aren't always going to be doing that on a regular basis. You might do it once or twice.
Yeah.
But chances are when they're making a purchase decision or choosing to go with a business, they'll be coming back to your website numerous times. One of the things that factors into nurturing campaigns is that within HubSpot, you can see when that's happening and you can automate tasks off the back of it.
Yeah.
One that I know that people might be used to is like ASOS.
Okay.
Yeah, clothing company.
Yeah.
But what often happens if you're looking for jackets, shoes, that kind of thing, you put it in your bag, you don't go ahead with it, you get an email that comes through saying, you're looking at this, are you still interested? exactly that can be done with HubSpot as well. So they've seen that you've looked at a product page or a service page.
Yeah.
You've shown interest because you've been on it for a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
You can have an email that comes through and says, you were looking at this, you might find this interesting.
Yeah.
Or why don't you book in a call with the team?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing I find works really well.
I've got friends that play the system with a bank of baskets, in the sense that they know that a discount code's coming. So they will add it to a basket, not buy deliberately, wait for the email to get their 10% voucher. If they check out now, and then go and purchase it, saving them money all the time. Doesn't always work, because not everybody offers them discounts all the time, but they've worked out the websites to actually use.
Yeah. That is a common one, 10% off, free shipping, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Common ones that we do.
Absolutely. What about, because obviously that's a business to consumer example. He's obviously a big player from that side. Lots of our clients are business to business.
Yeah.
I'd say the majority are.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some examples of things that we can automate, like from website visitors for business to business there. How would it work for that?
Oh, good question. I think that, we spoke about email campaigns.
Yeah.
And I think some of this would translate to business, because if they're still looking for those services. But I think a lot of the things that you can automate, moving a bit away from email marketing, is the actual processes of diverting things to different people.
Okay.
So if you've got, say we're looking for a cleaning company.
Yeah.
Is when you inquire that's going to be diverted to the right person in the company, rather than it just going into an email box and people fishing through it. I think that really helps people. Another one from a business to business standpoint, quite a lot, I suppose, if you're a business to consumer, you maybe don't look at projects and case studies and what have you. So I think having it where that goes through to that kind of thing on email and sends back over to them, I think that would work quite well.
Yeah. And all of this is available to do in HubSpot.
Yeah.
What level of subscription in HubSpot would you need then to get the most out of this? Because it comes with lots of different tiers, and not businesses have different ones. So what would be your recommendation? Because obviously there's different hubs. We're talking about marketing, so we're talking about the marketing hub. What recommendation tier would you have?
Really depends on the size of the business.
Okay.
You can still get HubSpot free nowadays. They're not canned that yet. And hopefully they never do. They promise that. So, but if you're less than 5 people in the business, a small company, then you can do quite a bit of automation just in the start packages.
Yes.
It doesn't cost too much money a month, and you can have up to 5 at this point of recording. Actual nurture flows come off the back of that. So that could be emails, it could be directing to different people, etc. Really useful to dip your finger in it, and get used to it.
The good thing as well with any paid version of HubSpot is all the HubSpot branding gets removed as well.
Yes.
So with the free tool, I don't even know you can get workflows in the free tool, but obviously everything has HubSpot labeled all over it, and people know that it's not. It can appear disingenuous because it's not from. I've received emails from retailers before, and it says from MailChimp.
Yes.
So it's not personalized. It's not automated. There's a website that I buy clothes from, and I always get an email from the MD afterwards saying thanks for purchasing, and I know it's not him.
Yes.
But obviously it's got a picture of him on it, and it genuinely feels like I'm actually. I know
he's been involved.
He's been involved in the process. Like, it's a personal thank you for buying something from him. Because at the end of the day, we could talk all day about things you can automate. Right? We could be here all day, and we haven't. Our listeners don't have a length of time to do so. So what I always say to everybody that comes, to summarise, if you're in front of a business owner now who's looking at marketing automation, looking at making the most of it, a silver bullet, so as in one tip that you would give them to look at, to do, what would it be and why?
Great question. So I mentioned there about, HubSpot Marketing Starter and to just dip your finger in.
Yeah.
Is it can be quite
Am I
overwhelming.
right saying? Dip your toe.
Dip your toe in.
Yeah. Sorry.
But I think it can be quite overwhelming for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So mine really is just to actually embrace it.
Okay.
Yeah. So as an example, my dad's now in his 70s. He uses an iPhone, MacBook,
Yeah.
iPad. And I've even introduced him to AI, which he feels is wizardry at this point in his life.
Yeah.
But he's only done that through embracing technology, even at that age, and really getting used to it and, text me and that kind of thing. It's the exact same with automation. Is dip your toe in it.
Yeah.
Got it right there. And actually just do one or two things, follow up email off the back of a form or a direction to your sales team. Once you've started to get used to it, which you can do with HubSpot Starter, the marketing one, and then you can upgrade to marketing professional and start really running with things. But I'd say just to get started with it is the biggest thing.
Just get started. That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get HubSpot started. Have a go with a couple of automated emails. Once you're used to that and you can see it's working and you've perfected that, then build on it. And it'll prevent you from the inefficiencies I mentioned earlier on
Yeah.
of getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Starting small, keep going. Don't just throw everything at it straight away.
Doesn't. And finally, I would ask, people don't jump in. People don't dip their toe in. What's the ramifications for a business owner?
I hate to say it because it sounds doom and gloom, but you'll get left behind.
Yeah.
We all we hear in the news is around AI now. That's a huge thing. And I know we've spoken about it on the podcast quite a bit.
Yeah, last month. Yeah, was quite at length.
And it's the same with automation. Is if you're still using manual follow-up, if you're still not at least closing the loop for customers and prospects when they're inquiring, if you're not using it to streamline your processes, then and other businesses are, and it's accessible for small businesses now, there will be a point where you'll get left behind.
Absolutely. So, yeah, please take note, business owners. As I said, we can go into lots more detail. So I'm not going to do that today. Obviously, if you want to read more about marketing automation, there's lots of content on our website. As I said before, I've done lots of webinars as well. You can find that on our YouTube channel as well. But yeah, really appreciate everybody watching today. Obviously, I'll be back next month, not with John, unfortunately. But I think we can go into so much more detail that I'd actually would encourage you to come back and talk, and we can talk in more detail about other things as well. So I'll see you all next month, but thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.
Cheers. Bye-bye.